which camera will it choose?
Using his on his computer and I don't know why.
So it's
It's
chosen
you, it's your
this one.
computer.
Oh, it's my computer.
Well, that's just,
Although we're down
the
there.
other one is down there. I just need to pick
Maybe
that
it's
one
on
on the
speaker
screen.
here or something.
Yeah.
So I really don't want to be here. Okay, so if anyone is out there in.
Your little camera thing, you can just slide or turn your camera off.
Yeah, just turn your camera.
But we want that picture to
Yeah.
be big.
Maybe turning
That's
his
not
off.
his camera.
guess it doesn't matter.
That's that camera.
We don't have to
Anyone
see it,
watching
though.
can choose to click. on it.
Yeah, I,
Yes,
There you go.
There we go.
okay,
but where's Amy?
beginning to understand. All right, hi, everyone. Welcome to the Open Space and Recreation Committee meeting of 22 April. Call us to order and we have a rapporteur.
I'm on it.
Thank you very much. Ingrid.
Yes.
As we are all here in the room. It's,
Which is not remote. If he's not, if he's not remote, then we're all in the room.
I have no one remote, so we're all in the room, so we don't need to do a roll call. We definitely have a quorum and as I think, Chris, you were the alternate who was voting at the last meeting.
Correct.
Homer had to leave early and luckily that all went well and you're back. They didn't reject you. So Tom, would you care to be the alternate voting for
Sure.
Richard tonight? Well, voting for yourself as Richard is absent. Okay, thank you. All right, our first order of business is the approval of the March 25th minutes of that meeting, kindly provided by Adrian. You all had a chance to look.
I will be abstaining.
Yes, okay.
I was thinking as I looked at them, it would be nice if the headings were bigger and bolder. You have the headings in the original font, it's teeny, and then you have all the text under it. It took me a while to figure out that we changed subject at one point.
Okay.
So if you could put the original agenda.
Fully expected to be locked out.
Oh. No,
Got
Eric isn't,
lucky.
Eric isn't here, so.
Richard,
Yeah,
you
no,
be at the head of
we
the
have to
table
get
if you
your
like.
chair though.
Or anywhere, wherever you comfortable. Great to see you. So, Tomer, I'm sorry.
You're fired.
You won't be voting tonight.
We'd love to hear your opinions though.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. So, Dave has a
Formatting.
formatting question, but in terms of content, are there any concerns about the minutes as provided?
Did some changes get made to it after the one we saw?
I haven't
think
changed anything. I sent it out. I wouldn't change anything until we all said, change it.
I sent you a couple of things.
Oh, you did?
Well, I think, yeah, and you noted them, I think.
Oh, no, that's on the semi-annual
Oh,
report.
okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But on the minutes.
Sorry,
Minutes are fine.
I was confused too.
Yeah, okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of last meeting.
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second, Richard? And all in favor of approving the minutes from our prior meeting, March 25th, please indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Abstain. And David abstains. There were no objections. Updates on membership, we're tabling that. Eric does his best. I can join a family on school break. Let's see. Update from the OSRC rep to the Community Preservation Committee. Kate, is there any news?
So there's no new projects. The full applications will be coming in the first week of May. There was some positive discussion of inviting relevant city committees to site visits of, so like, the historic commission going to historic, so I'm not sure if that was definitely decided, but it was introduced and it was received very positively. And so I think for us, what that probably will mean is an invitation to the East Gloucester School site visit when that happens.
Okay.
Also, the demolition of that has begun. We haven't been able to go on a site visit because it's kind of all fenced off. I haven't gone to see it, but I have heard now those whistles and the blasting. So it is in the process of coming down right now. That's all that's new since last time.
When those site visit invitations occur, when will the Community Preservation Committee handle the open meeting end of things?
What do you mean open meeting?
Well, if more than two of us show up for a site visit, I have to, or certainly if more than a quorum shows up, we would have to indicate that as a meeting and announce it in advance. I think so. Or we can ask,
I'll check in with,
and
That's a good point. Just trying to
Because that'll
think,
be a
the site
larger-
visits that we went on were usually like the liaison and maybe one, I don't think we've ever had more than 3 from CPC, but with this with this initiative, it could definitely bring in
Mm.
more.
but I have heard conflicting opinions about site visits. And I was just asking that sort of erring on the side of caution.
Good point.
But I remember Greg Catamatori being one of the cautious ones. He said we really have to, even if it's not legally required, it might be prudent to send a notice.
Say it is.
Site visits
I
as a
think of,
as a meeting.
I think of conservation commissions doing site visits quite regularly. Usually they post them.
No, yeah.
Good
I
point.
will bring that
Yeah,
up.
something to contemplate.
Not since 2020.
But they don't have to be hybrid, I guess.
So you don't post them
You know,
anymore?
I think that would work. Well, I mean, it could work, but it would take a lot of work.
FaceTime the whole thing, right?
Different
Go
boards and
pro.
commissions.
Hold on, this might be important. So Dave, could you tell the whole group?
Okay. My experience is that boards and committees and commissions have dealt with this separately. But the watchword, that Dan said is be very, very cautious. And it's nice to be careful. If the Conservation Commission right now, its policy is a little loose. And if there's a quorum there, nobody talks. Which is kind of interesting. But the Board of Health, when it has site visits, they always post it right now.
Does
Even
that mean the general public could join? Is that what that means? Or-
that's up to the property owner.
Okay,
Property owner may or may not allow, people, on the property. It's up to them. In my experience, usually it's no.
I think it might be difficult to have, say, 4 or 5 of us at a site visit, let's say East Gloucester School site or East Gloucester Open Space site, and then not communicate between ourselves about, here's where the mounds go, here's where the perimeter track is.
Right. The problem is the word deliberate. If you don't talk, you don't deliberate.
Right.
But if you talk, you're deliberating.
Yes,
Right.
even if it's not deliberate.
Yeah.
All right, moving along. All right, thank you, Kate. Anything else on that?
Nope.
I can mention under this heading that Eric was working on the full application for the East Gloucester open space. Don't know how far he progressed. Okay. See if I can. Documents. Okay. So. Our first order of business is to perfect and approve for submission the semi-annual summary of activities in progress. We do in April and September of each year. Thank you all for taking a look at this. And as I mentioned in the email, I got notes from 3 people. That doesn't mean you can't comment now and make adjustments. So really, if you have something that you need to adjust, let's do it. But I will just kind of go through this by section. And I will, with each section, ask you if I can move on. Okay. Here's the standard intro that using on these documents.
We still need to talk about the past.
I was just.
Committees now, I mean, we did that already.
Good question. And I'm open to change. The reason that I was thinking of leaving this in is that it provides our guiding document, the reference or a connection to our guiding document, the open space and recreation plan. And there are some things that we've carried over from the consolidation or an adjustment to our priorities,
Mhm.
sort of that came from the consolidation of last February. So I felt it was kind of appropriate to leave it there, but I'm not wedded to it.
How long do you think we should leave it there? We do one of these every 6 months.
Yep.
Give it another year, give it another 6 months. Toss it in September.
Okay.
Note to self to delete that from the
I
template.
think
for
it's
next.
actually good because it sets it as a standalone document. Here's when we were formed, why we were formed, why the others don't exist.
Okay.
Yeah, but we own those things now.
Yeah, whatever, Here we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't feel strongly that?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
It could be an addendum.
Yes.
Maybe not lead with it.
You teach writing.
I do.
We defer to you on this
This
case.
isn't the punchiest way to open. But that doesn't,
Don't bury the headline, right? Don't bury the headline. Yes,
but that doesn't mean, oh, I mean, it's just,
Writer's
you
ego
know,
is devastated.
the background. It's not the character of the content. It's just sort of like historical background is sort of like,
Right.
Okay.
it's okay, but
There would be on the first page.
Okay. A previous one, I mean, we don't labor this, but the earlier report, I had a highlights. I had 3 or 4 bullets right at the top. And things from this period didn't seem as highlightable. Or, you know, they didn't seem as bullet worthy. And so I took that out. If I had the old, you know, from the old report, if I had 3 or 4 bullets at the top that says, here are the high points, bing, 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 then we get into the stuffy stuff. That would be
I
okay.
think that would be good.
Okay. We start that next, or resume that next time?
Yep.
Or if there's anything in this report that you think should be moved up to highlights, we could replicate that on this occasion. Membership and meetings, I just list them here. And I do make a point that the December meeting was about the comp plan. It was a good thing for us to participate in. I have a note that. Joined us, yeah. Okay. Anything else in this section? East Gloucester open space. Mark had a comment about this. Does this respond to what you were thinking, Mark? I think you had an insistence on, you know, kind of us pushing the design that was came up with. Kind of,
Yeah, or making sure it doesn't get, or if it gets altered, that everybody's aware that it got altered, just,
Right.
right, everybody remember that that's what was submitted and, yeah. I think there was a date associated with that. I want to say April of 24, but I'm not sure. We can go try to find that somewhere that there's a date.
To reference the design
There
specific.
was the last meeting. I want to say it was April 24 rings a bell for some reason. Accordance with the design, right, there has to be some.
Okay.
So if we can find if we just link it to something that shows the option, was it option 2, I think that won out? There was option 1, option 2,
It was an adjusted option 2.
adjusted option,
Yeah.
something like that. So that would be good just to know that we don't lose that.
After there were 2 options, there was another meeting that had the one, the 2 with some amendments to it, and people generally agreed that
Put
was
in
a
some
good way to
features
go.
from 1. They brought
Yes.
in some features
Right.
from 1 or something like that.
Okay,
Yeah, so we could just link it to something that's credible that we can point to or something.
all right.
That's good.
And you said something about I don't have your notes in front of me, but about the CPC. I thought removing that sentence was probably okay.
Well, because that's not, it's not final as to how any of that's gonna be, play out. That's just the proposal. The full application isn't even in yet. So I would just go less is more on that one.
So does that removal of that
Yeah,
sentence satisfy that?
Yeah,
Okay,
because no one knows how it's really gonna play out.
all right. Anyone else? All right, moving along.
And even though the newspaper said the same thing.
They always get it.
Bicycle and pedestrian accommodations. Someone commented on that. On. Access and informed use of open spaces. Mark had noted that as yet we do not have a sponsor. That sentence capture it, Mark?
Yes. Yes.
Anyone, the thoughts on this section?
Okay. Unless we want to use this as an opportunity to push for one a little more. Like we could just say we don't have one, or we could say that we are seeking one.
Who would that sponsor be?
It can be any city council.
Okay.
It has to be a city councilor right.
Okay. So I could say. How would we phrase this?
City councilor to sponsor.
A sponsor to commence draft measures, duration in city council.
Whatever the
So
legal
we're-
speak on
A
that.
sponsor would be a city councilor, right?
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
So making that clear up there, I think would be of some value.
I thought it, okay.
I mean, it doesn't,
As yet the
consideration of
committee is
city council.
Yeah. Phrasing it this way.
Committee is seeking a city council's
Sponsorship.
sponsor. Or just, yeah. To,
City council or sponsor. City councilor to sponsor.
yeah, just to sponsor. Draft measure.
Did the city councilors see this document?
Yes.
Yeah, it would go to what, O and A first, is that right, Dave? Someone takes it, someone sponsors it, it goes to O and A, then it goes to city council. Something like
Yeah.
that.
You would go to, people perhaps before. it would
Well,
go.
yeah, somewhere in there is it, yeah.
But to Dave's question, yes, the council members, I have gotten notes from council members about the report, yes. Okay, does that capture it? The city is seeking city count, a lot of times the letter A doesn't work. So,
The last sentence, in any case, it's likely the OSC will form a subcommittee to advance this project.
Yep.
Which that's kind of what with the signage stuff, right? Was that all?
Well,
Is that what we're saying?
It depends on how you frame it. It's not a signage project. If it's about promoting access and informed use of the open spaces, then there's still something to do if the signage isn't approved.
No, it's good. It's good. I got it.
Yeah.
So I could be a nitpicker and say it is likely is passive tense. Say it is, say in any case, the ORC will likely form a subcommittee.
Okay.
That's active tense.
Yep. Thank you for picking those nits.
It's a nit.
In any case, the OSRC will
Likely.
likely form a subcommittee or working group in the coming months to advance this project. Thank you. Anyone else?
Perhaps our writer didn't pick them.
You're gonna get all the heat.
The passive voice is not by definition,
Oh, yeah.
it's context.
All right.
Much scientific writing uses the passive.
Perimeter delineation of open spaces. Let's see. I think there was don't recall any changes in this section, but in the attached rationale for this project, we do have some.
Actually, could I make one change?
Yes, of course.
So actually that last paragraph, OSRC members have been doing some background work, digging into relevant, it's not title information, real estate records or deed information.
Holdings or?
Hold,
is that the
yeah,
right word?
title,
Real
doesn't,
estate.
All right.
I think that's like a step beyond deed research to a certain extent,
Okay.
so I don't want to overstate what we've been doing.
I would
Like I've been
order-
looking at publicly available real estate records, and basically everything is publicly available in
Why don't I
Massachusetts.
just say, instead of title information, real estate records?
Yeah.
Perfect, yeah,
Okay.
accurate.
Did we have headings for Dogtown? I mean, we just leapt to that from Paul's Hill. It might make it a little clearer.
Okay, so
I
digging
like
into
that.
relevant real estate records that the city holds and conferring with outside experts in the field of title searches.
Actually, not even that the city holds, because real estate records are kept in the
Okay.
Essex County Registry of Deeds. It's not a city thing.
Okay,
So we can just take that right out.
all right. Anything else in this paragraph? And we'll come back to what Dave was saying. All right, so we have, just do.
And the carriage return.
Just something like that.
Well, I would
And,
put-
and I'll underline it.
I would put in a carriage return after it, so it was heading, rather than- I mean, I don't know what it is now.
Oh, it's a subheading.
I'll define it as heading two in Word and I'll format it for you.
I don't go there, I'm sorry.
Blew me away with that one.
Yeah, I can make the edits. I'm not gonna let the machine make the edits.
I wasn't gonna, I just still think it should be on its own line with a different font as a heading. Underneath perimeter delineation.
Okay,
So it's easier to see.
how, if I underline it here?
I've never seen that
I think
format
giving it its
before.
own heading makes it look like it's its own thing and there's nothing under, like it. Perimeter delineation just looks like there's nothing under there, right? Like it's a new thought. I think like a subheading wouldn't bold it. I might give it its own line, but not bold it.
Anything like what you got right now.
No, I'm inventive. No, I don't mean. No, it's just underlined, it just lets you know what the paragraph's about. Okay, can I toy with this offline and maybe come up with a different, two different, and get rid of perimeter delineation of open spaces, just have Poles Hill as a title and Dogtown. Something like that.
I don't think you should throw out perimeter delineation. I think that should be a heading and under it's Paul's Hill.
I think it needs to be a heading. If you go back to all our agendas, it's a heading on all our
Okay,
minutes. So you
Just give
wanna-
you
if someone's going back to look.
Gives you the context.
okay, all right, well, what is your, please restate your pleasure and I'll do it.
The pleasure is put in carriage return after your underlying thing.
That's it. Okay. I'll deal with it. I'll clean that up.
Pretty it up later, yeah.
Are there any more than those? I mean, those are the only two we're dealing with right now, right?
Yeah.
I'll make sure that comes on the same page as the paragraph.
Okay.
Okay. Right, very good. No changes under, Royal Woods Gate.
Fortunately.
Pickleball, Mark wanted and suggested that we use I had taken some liberties with the,
Well, back to the gate thing, we didn't talk to Mike Hale, and he did say he was gonna put it there. Isn't that news?
um,
Remember? That's happened in the last 6 months.
Okay. Has expressed general support for the concept along with concerns about access when the property is less frequented by users. I always break these.
I do too.
He said he was gonna put it there. So I mean, that's news. That's, I've never had that before.
I think that captures though, express general support.
General
Say
support is-
has agreed to put it there. I wouldn't say that until we have that in writing.
Well, but you did say that I would like to hold them to it. That forceful.
We did hold them there as well.
General
I missed
support
that before.
along with concerns about, I'm sorry, where, Richard?
General support of this concept.
How about we get rid of general? That
Yeah.
says.
Need a for or an of.
Yes,
But definite support. Specific support, or
How it's strong.
I wouldn't say it's strong.
he said he was gonna do it.
I sat in a meeting with him where he says, you know, if they're vandals and loiterers here, we're gonna pick it back up.
I know.
But so it's, I think it's a little qualified. I don't think having that ready in your back pocket to me doesn't suggest strong.
Okay.
Or the of has to go after.
Expressed for support, yes, thank you.
Can you make those two sentences?
Sure. Abuse of such acts. Use of such acts. Something like that.
Yeah, well, the questions that remain about this gate in order to exist, not just that, they're like, who's gonna manage it and all that stuff. So I don't know if we want to limit our statement of his concerns be just about abuse when the property is less frequented by user.
Okay. Concerns about management of the access.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's certainly a thing when there's nobody there, somebody could go dump stuff. That was one of his main concerns. But I think the real question
That
is,
isn't covered in abuse of such access.
it is,
Oh,
it is.
right.
So that definitely should be in there. But he had other questions like who's gonna manage the gate and open it? When is it gonna be open? Who has a key? Are all important.
Yes. Also express concerns about management of access to.
Yeah.
And uses. It's also expressed concerns about management of access. We could say how to provide access to it. Management of access to the site and potential abuses when property is less frequent.
Yeah.
Does it? It's not.
Yeah,
It
it-
doesn't say it's great.
yeah. Well, you couldn't read this and really know what his concerns are, but
Okay.
that's okay.
All right, well, you can work for this concept. That's expressed concerns about how to manage access to the property.
And prevent potential abuses.
How to prevent potential abuses. Property. When the property is less frequented by users.
If you're gonna get that specific, you gotta put dumping in.
You could say safeguard property access and prevent vandalism.
Okay. Yeah. To manage access to the property, comma, safeguard
Property access.
to manage and safeguard access.
I assume that Mike Hale's gonna look at this too. I just wanna make sure that we represented his,
Concerns about how to manage and
Statements there.
safeguard access to the property.
Prevent vandalism.
Also. Fencing. I think these are good improvements.
I don't know if you need when the property is less frequent by users, but these are the things we're trying to prevent. They could happen any old time, I guess.
Okay. DPW director has expressed support for this concept. He had expressed concerns about how to manage and safeguard access to the property while also preventing abuses such as vandalism, littering, and dumping.
That's what he said.
Okay. All right, good. Thank you. Improved.
The other part of that with
You
cats,
say, yeah.
it was more than a month ago, or where were we? Just below where you were typing.
I'm sorry.
Right there.
Whoops.
The last month part might be more than a month ago. We could just say cats drafted a pre-application with CPA. And then somewhere maybe in there say that they withdrew the application. Is that correct?
Actually,
You never submitted, okay. Just,
Correct.
okay,
So that was, I could say in March.
or, yeah, we'll do the, yeah. Was,
Mike didn't want to see.
right, for some reason I thought it was February, because that's when the deadline
Or I
was.
could do that.
I think.
Cape Ann Trail Stewards
Yeah,
drafted.
just say it's not created. And learned a lot, and learned a lot on the way.
Property, he suggested that the city bear the cost of the interior gate rather than through the CPC. That way the city.
interesting.
Here's where we mentioned that.
The lawyers could say it got redundant there.
Do I need any further changes here?
Nope.
Too many vandals and lawyers.
Maybe just leave out the last bit.
Yeah.
May remove the gate in the future without conferring.
Yeah, put a period right there, yeah. All that.
He wants freedom to do what he wants.
Okay. Good here. Pickleball.
Well, let me just read this, I guess a couple weeks ago, so I just want to give it another look. So,
Okay.
well, a little up higher.
Sorry, let's see.
Just real quick,
Check.
that was being last fall, that was all old history cost, right? That's all good. February, we met, February, okay. Yeah, and then I guess, beginning with 16 potential sites, the working group is still in process of reviewing a list of 6 potential sites.
Okay,
And addressing qualities of them or something without actually getting into what all the quality. I just thought maybe just take all that
all
out.
right, so.
Just keep it some kind of a high level.
And, sorry, say that again, please.
Well, we have rounded down 16 sites to what we think are 6 potential sites, all with some qualities, different attributes and qualities that need to be ranked and weighted. We haven't finished that process.
So that's described right below it. You just don't want the.
Right, yeah, that's it, yeah, maybe we don't need to get into what I don't know if do we need to get into what those qualities and attributes are? It's up to, do we want to,
Um,
because we haven't brought it to this whole group yet. The working group hasn't brought it back to this group yet.
okay,
And I'm not gonna today because Eric's out. But I will give a quick status update when we get to
Okay.
that. So that's
Okay.
why I didn't,
all right.
but I guess, yeah,
What are you comfortable with?
just not leaving,
Get rid of the bullets?
just get
We
rid of
haven't
the.
discussed it in the group, then it's not, shouldn't be in this document.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It
Yeah.
hasn't gone from a working group
Committee vote
to at least the bigger group yet.
that the list of potential sites has been, pared down, the working group is, or I can just get rid of that. So get rid of all the bullets at
Please
least.
get rid of all the bullets, yeah.
All right, so. All right, is everyone agreeing? Yes. Okay. So, I could get rid of everything from this point and just say the working group is taking a close look, not closer, close look at potential sites and whether any could possibly be suitable for recommendation from the OSRC to the mayor.
Keep it, let them know we're working on it, rounded things down, and we're continuing to scrub.
Working group. Close look at say potential here.
Yeah,
Sites, whether any could possibly be suitable for a recommendation from the OSRC.
and that's tricky too, because in theory, all 6 of the ones we have could be, they all have a,
So which instead of whether,
yeah. or-
which could possibly be.
Yeah. They all technically, they all have the,
Any of which,
yeah, or something like that, yeah. That's why what's,
is taking a close look at potential sites, to determine committee's preferred alternative for recommendation to the mayor? Or alternatives, how about that?
I think they're gonna deliver a group for suggestions, so.
Put in alternatives.
yeah, don't put alternative. The alternative is to just pick one of
Right.
whatever other doesn't get, if there's more than one, one's gonna be an alternative, so.
I put which,
Yeah.
Which property or properties could be suitable?
yeah, just take out whether and put in which.
To determine which,
Yeah, get rid of whether any.
We had hoped to be a little.
Right.
Done it here, but we wanted to be a little further along than we were, but things got away from us and we couldn't meet offline for, so.
which are
Kinda lost a
suitable for
month.
recommendation. I'm gonna get rid of from the OSRC to the mayor. Same, for recommendation to the mayor.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Working group is taking a close look at potential sites. Potential sites which may be suitable for recommendation to the mayor. May I put this as maybe instead of are?
Yes.
Sure. For recommendation to the mayor. Did I capture it?
Perfect.
All right. Thank you for your patience with this. Other pending issues? Didn't receive any comments on that. I think I need to unshare this document.
I like your phrasing, huge and complicated. I like the phrasing, huge and complicated issue.
Well, yeah.
Totally.
So. Sharing and switch documents to. Okay. I received several comments on this. Chris asked for better phrasing than the word woodlands. I hope this satisfies it, but I'm open to whatever it picks. Thanks. So in this first instance, I changed woodlands to natural areas at Chris's suggestion. And down here, advocates for Gloucester's natural areas to argue for funding. For example, hiring a tree warden or an open spaces steward. That'd be nice. A new survey and identify whether and where property owners, okay, this was Tom raised the point, this is very much worded about abutters overstepping into city property. She said, I think you're getting at the possibility that city is expanded into there. So I just got rid of the who and just say, a new survey may identify whether and where property owners may have overstepped boundaries. The city being a property owner as well. It's a little more neutral. Is get at your point?
Sure.
Okay. Any other thoughts on this document?
Maybe encroached instead of overstepped.
Encroached on boundaries.
Boundaries.
Yeah, overstep was.
Add the A. Put an A in there, sorry.
See, is there a word without an A?
Just shifted documents.
Impinged.
Not a great way to do business.
50 documents on you? Oh, wow.
Um,
Better get a new one before the tariffs kick in.
I know.
They're gonna be exempted.
And there, Apple anyway.
I'm going to not spend more time with this because.
We have
I'm
to
a
cover
little
the dark
crazy.
side.
We, at this point,
Right, I can't pull that document up right now, so I'm gonna use the word encroachment.
You don't have it up on yours, do you, Kate? Did you have it up on yours? Can Kate just make the change on it? Is that fine? Just so you have it for your notes? I don't have it up on mine.
I think I can, if you'll trust me to do this, I have one
Oh,
other
okay.
change to make.
Sure.
And I would welcome and edit or a motion that incorporates those that we've made on the document, as well as adding date of the East Gloucester Open Space draft plan or final plan rather.
Mhm.
Right? And the word encroachment for overstepped.
so moved.
So thank you, Dave. Does anyone care to second or
Second.
and is there any discussion of the motion?
Well done, thank you.
Thank you all for pitching in. Okay. All in favor of adopting this report for submission as edited on the screen with the additions of adding the date of the East Gloucester Open Space final plan and the word encroachment for overstepped when I can get back to the right file. Indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. The motion carries. Eric will be back before the end of the month, and so I will work this for transmittal with him on Monday or Tuesday, because he won't have anything else to do. All right, thank you all for your patience with that and for your help. It's a better document for that. All right, Mark, we're on to pickleball. What's new?
So, knowing Eric was not, so a couple things is we rounded down to 16, down to and it down to 5, but we added a location. And then we took the document that we showed last month. It just had sort of colors on it with really nothing else, and we cleaned up some of the attributes. And we sort of put some words in those colors.
Cool.
And we colorized them sort of relative to each other on that line. We didn't weight them as to we didn't weight the attributes against each other, which one carries more weight, noise, whatever.
Yeah.
But we just sort of ranked them this way with each site. So like parking, it already exists, green. None need to be created would be like red, or yellow, maybe a conflict, something like that. So, but what I wanted to do next, and don't flash anything up yet, was I tried to get a meeting with Eric and Dan and myself just one more time to kind of figure out how to take it from a small group to the rest of us, and what were those ground, I didn't want to try to figure out what those ground rules are going to be in this meeting to how to deliberate and pare that down and rank and weight them. So I kind of wanted to have, that was the meeting I tried to get, and things got away from everybody. And so we didn't have that. And that's why Larry asked if he should come today, and I said no. Yeah.
So the idea is not that you and I would decide anything. It's just how do we present it to this group such that a decision can be made?
Right, and in an
Kind of
effective,
how do you frame it?
and an effective
Right.
way during this public time, how to best do that. So we're not figuring it out how to figure it out while we're doing it. So it's okay, here's how we're gonna do, we're gonna rank or whatever and deliberate, things like that. So that's kind of where we're at. And if you want to just flash up, we won't deliberate on any one of them. I can show you sort of where we're at if you want to put that up in 2 minutes. And I'll just say, here are the attributes. Here's how, and here's kind of some of the thing with no opinions or deliberations, or that's a terrible, like that, because we still haven't figured, that has to be, I think, a bigger group. And bigger discussions.
Right. So Mark, if I put that up, you want to see the sites or just the draft criteria?
You can show the sites. I think again, we won't deliberate on them. And if anybody's, from the public sees it, nothing is final, none of these are being proposed yet. And it's just, these are potential sites that have, in some way have potential without without personal biases or other things that might come in. They're feasible sites, that you'll see.
So Mark, the document that I have has 5 sites on it.
So if you have one that's the file, if you have one on your email, so there's 2 places to get it. I dragged one into the Google site today.
Oh, okay.
And I may have emailed you the very same one called Green Street added. So there you go. There's one on Green Street.
Okay.
Which I need to talk to you about.
Beat battle today. We don't have a transformer yet. We have a game tomorrow. There's no
All right, so if I.
Don't know what's going on.
Right.
No one returns me.
Well, even if you brought your own email version, again, nothing's fine. I just want to show the group sort of how we went from.
Right.
Oh,
Too bad you guys weren't just like 2 years sooner. We were doing that. It all could have been done together.
we weren't
I know.
We weren't even notified.
I know.
We had no input on.
That's not fair.
Okay,
It was a
here we
big
go.
meeting.
No, we
Oh, like
open space.
open space, was it?
Nope. I won't go there. Although I went there.
Right,
Okay.
so this does not have Green Street on it.
Okay,
Just
but
in the interest of
That's
time.
fine, in the interest of time, so what, I'll stand up if that's okay or whatever, so, whoa. Okay,
It'll be busy.
Start you like that.
right, so we have these categories, community impact. And with like distance to abutters, conflict with other uses. And traffic flow and congestion impact, that's sort of the getting to and from. Will people be all converging through someone's neighborhood or do people show up and come and go all the time? Right? That kind of thing. Pre-site considerations, the terrain, just is because that sort of translates to cost. We really don't have cost here, but terrain kind of fits in that category a little bit. Whether or not there's permitting and the open space classification, but, right? And then ease of use. These are just like things like parking, restrooms, it's central to the city, maybe has cater availability, things like that. Sustainability is the DPW maintenance impact, how much, things like places that they already go, they're already there anyway doing stuff versus maybe a new spot that they never had to go to before. Right? They're already at a park. It might be easy just to weed whack around the fence or something. I mean, it's not much to do with pickleball anyway, but that was the idea behind that. And whether or not it was, risk of vandalism, if it's remote and no one's around during, nighttime hours versus something that's more visible. And then sort of weather seasonal impacts, things like flooding or maybe I don't know, in the fall, if someone gets up there with a leaf blower, has to blow the leaves off the pickleball court or something like, just something like that. And then safety. I don't know if you scrolled to. Is that the bottom?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe there's for some reason I thought there was another safety category, but I may be.
How come on one of them it's green and one of them it's yellow for fishermen youth soccer?
I'll
okay.
explain. So, okay, so that was just sort of the thing. Now, if you want to kind of go over, and again, not, no, why? Because one's
I see one's near the parking lot and one's.
one is at the top level of the parking lot, off to the right, where there's no conflict at all with the usage of the field. There's still the parking, but not the usage. And then the upper youth field, that one is the one where it's on the very edge of the top fields. It would almost be like it's an area where they never mark for soccer, and there's another like 20 or 30 yards, and you could maybe build out that area. So again, it wouldn't be a conflict, except for parking. Stage Fort Park, again, it has its attributes but it has a lot of other people, has a lot of objections to that, but we're trying not to put all that in this yet. We're trying to just put these kind of attributes to it right now. And then the skateboard site, that's the one that we didn't want to say O'Malley School because it's not on school property. So it's not on school property, but it's that site. And then Swinson Field, and then there's Green Street. Now, Green Street was added, and Larry thinks it's kind of too small, but it is technically, it suits itself well for noise abatement because the panel's not going to block anybody. And it has a parking lot there. What we don't know yet, because Green Street's too new, is that we don't know who's going to use like when people are warming up and another team comes, they're playing catch. We don't know yet how they're going to use that area behind center field. Right. So you got the parking lot is behind left and center. Right? You go in with the parking lot, and then immediately to the left off the parking lot, between there and sort of halfway down, close to Market Basket on the way down to.
There's already concerns that with the use of the field, there's not enough parking.
That's what I
As
mean.
games go back to back,
You're gonna have the
you're
team,
gonna have
right, so
teams,
that's, so
two teams there at a
parking,
time, and we've already been requested not to park on Green Street itself. In
yeah,
that little lot, and I can already tell you, is
Yeah.
it?
so that's
is it
what I'm saying,
Trask
that,
Street, what's the other one? There's a cut through, they're already concerned
Yeah.
there.
and it's not an official parking spot, but there is that little sort of dirt lot that is part of
We've
the
asked not to
Sam
park
Park.
there.
We asked not to park there, so parking I think was bad on that, but, we sort of, again, now kind of going across with the words, we put distance there. And some sites do better with abatement than others. Like, so obviously Stage 4 would not be a great place for abatement, noise abatement, because you'd be blocking people's view and it would just look like this panel thing. So that, traffic flow and congestion. Swinson is, halfway down Mount Pleasant in the middle of a residential neighborhood. You're going to be bringing cars, that's going to just be like this
It's like
Right.
going in somebody's driveway.
It's like going in someone's driveway, where these other places have cars coming and going all the time. Terrain is sort of gives you an idea of the most costly one would be that one on the left.
Can I suggest so conflict with other uses, you haven't, but it's a little bit different. Like, there's something about taking open space that's multi-use space and making it for a singular activity,
Yes, that's what we wrote, we're taking away passive recreation.
passive or,
So instead, we wrote that, Pat, we're taking
which,
like
I'm sorry, my eyes,
Stage Foot Park.
passive recreation. Oh,
That's,
passive rec.
it's an impact to passive
Oh, so I see.
recreation.
Yes,
We're taking away passive, that's why we put it there.
okay.
Swenson's Field, they do play ball and stuff back there.
There is a very small, barely maintained coach pitch kind of ball thing, and it would, if it was there, it would be off that a little bit. Or some,
Dog play therapy.
or so, yeah. So it's been years since I coach pitched there.
They still use it.
They
It's one of
I've
those
seen people
fields.
like drop kids off.
It's one
Yeah.
of those fields where like, as you're making the loop to see where there's availability. you
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
there.
you go
It's
there.
on the
So,
list.
right.
As you're figuring out who
and-
holds
And the
permits.
site location, again, we're getting into too more deep.
No,
we're
no,
getting
no, we
into the
weren't gonna
kind of
debate this
details,
tonight, yes,
but
that's just
yeah.
stuff to think about.
But,
yeah.
again, porta potties, there's no porta potties at Swenson.
You won't get porta potties at Green Street. I don't think you'll get them at the Magnolia Woods.
Well, no, there's porta potties there already.
That you can go in, just walking up to the woods open, the youth soccer has keys to them, I believe. They're not public access.
Did not know that.
The Burnham's Field is not public access.
Right,
Green Street will
okay.
not have public access. All of those are sort of,
Right. So, and again, we put some, emergency egress, kind of safety considerations. Something that a lot of people nearby, if someone was more likely to see somebody or something like that. So Swenson has a lot of, just, again, if the colors are even remotely close, you can almost scan by the colors and look at stuff, but we haven't weighted them. So that's the problem. We haven't, who places the weights on, if cost is the biggest concern, then terrain that gets a higher weight. If conflict with other uses, that's the one that needs some little more detail. How many games are at Green Street? When are the club soccer games and when are the fishermen use soccer games? So those things all just need investigation.
see, on weekends, where I assume people are more apt to do these type of activities and during the day,
Yeah,
because there wouldn't be lights, you're probably fine at Green Street, right? There's not a lot of people there.
right.
Where
I
the
know.
games are usually
Yeah.
after school hours into the night where,
So, this is 6 April,
Yeah.
Rev B. So there's the one that says with Green Street at it, but we'll use that for our meeting. I don't want to go anymore. I just want to let people know we're looking at it. We're trying our best to, and we welcome input on these attributes from anybody.
Any conversation or recommendations for additional criteria or sites?
That's great, exactly, which is. Email us if you think of something pops in your head. Should be a category or.
These are all negative things. Is there any way to put a positive thing in there, like?
Pickleball,
Well,
that's the end game, that's the.
Well, I mean, it's site specific. People would really like it if it's here, kind of thing. I don't know.
I know, and some people won't like it if it's there, right? So that's a hard one to grapple with. We struggle with that.
Funny, my thought on emergency access should be very high. Number of accidents is pretty high.
Pickleball, yeah.
it's actually
First
true.
responder when somebody got knocked out.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's putting people in certain age categories.
Right.
Back in the hospitals a lot. Yeah.
Anytime something causes you to push past your usual levels of safety,
Yeah.
then you're in danger. And
Right.
any kind of competition does that.
Yeah, I think we marked Green Street, if I remember correctly, I think we marked Green Street as maybe yellow, because it's kind of partial, but. Where it would be, if there was no game going on and no kids at the playground, and everybody's just kind of going to Market Basket, no one really.
A lot of foot traffic,
Is there back on
Yes.
that
especially
path?
now that there's no grocery store downtown. a lot of foot traffic.
Oh, okay, good. Along that path,
Mhm.
yeah. Honestly, I think Larry did an overlay but you might not be able to get the courts in there. Maybe
It looks
4.
tight.
It
Yeah, I'm
is tight.
thinking of the spot. Would it block the path?
No, you walk right by it.
Okay.
It'd just be like 6, it'd be like 4, it'd be just vertical, like just in a row. It wouldn't be a block, it wouldn't be like this kind, it'd just be in a row. He did an overlay. He kind of said it was really too small, but we throw it on there anyway. Maybe it could be 4
We
courts.
say maybe it could be a
Maybe,
couple,
maybe it could be a couple courts.
better than none, right?
Right.
And like you were saying last time, maybe there's another spot for a couple more.
What do you think of sending the grid and the sites, even without the colors on it, however, whatever, to the group for collection of further ideas in between meetings? So folks have a chance to look at it and can say, well, I think it's also, here's a.
How do we do that without deliberate? So it would be,
Yeah.
we just send back to,
Send it to Eric.
send it to Eric.
Yeah.
And you can CC me, right? Or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll do that. Yeah, we'll send it. Yeah.
If you think that's a good idea.
I think it is a good idea because Eric's not gonna be back for a week. We have to set up a meeting again and it's gonna be a couple of weeks. Well, our goal is to be nice if we came back next meeting with a plan to like dig in, right? Or make that a good part of the meeting.
Is there any way to, making pickleball quieter?
Someone told me they are changing, there are paddles or softer, there's this.
They do make a
They do make a,
muted paddle now, but
yeah, but
it's just personal preference.
It's
But if you've made one of these sites
yeah, you do,
specific, that it has to be the quieter equipment,
you can't enforce the
So
equipment. You
say
can only,
don't
you can only do
skate on the
padding. You
tennis
can,
courts.
all we have control of is padding. And it worked well at Sweeney Field in Manchester. His neighbors right across the street. Things are good. But you can only use that if you're not blocking anybody's view or, so it's not all these sites. Like Stage 4 would be the worst for that. It'd be a non-starter to put a baby.
It'd be like a black box in the
It'd be a
middle of
black
the
box,
field, right
yeah.
on water.
Yeah. It won't go over well.
and the hockey rink is kind of too.
At least it's not direct line
That's true,
through
absolutely.
prime real estate
Yeah,
on the
okay.
park.
Yeah, no,
Any questions for Mark?
so I'll send send that version that we have. Okay.
And we will have to put some work into ideas for how to deliberate and decide this. And maybe we could give you some time in front of the meeting to contemplate that. So that when we get to the meeting, we can have more
Yeah.
productive conversation. Or if we fail that, then we just have to wait another month while we figure out the best way to really drill this down.
Right, and we would make it so Larry could be a speaker in this as well.
Okay.
You just add him to the
Yeah,
whatever.
if we have them on the agenda, that would be fine.
If we put estimates for costs for anything that.
We don't have estimates for cost.
That was the whole.
That's the whole thing.
Until you did the $50,000 study up at Magnolia Woods, you wouldn't even know where to start,
The
right?
50,000 was just to say, can you even start?
And how much
And
work would need to be done.
That's right. The
Okay.
study is just more about the liner and the whatever, not the, right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
It's a tough, it's a little NIMBY, right?
Hard to
Not my,
believe
some
there
of it's
isn't
NIMBY, not
an
my
obvious
backyard.
choice.
Yeah, and but we do have it as an activity. It's mentioned in our open space and recreation plan. It says this would be a priority for, any funding in the future. And we did note, we did get a lot of comments supporting pickleball in the development of the plan.
People want it, yeah.
Dogtown. Chris and Kate? Kate and
You want me
Chris?
to, and so, before Eric left on vacation, he had what appeared to be very, productive meetings at City Hall involving, 4 different departments. And so he convened, a video with, Kate and myself. I don't think Anna was in on that, were you? I didn't see you in the background, kind of, you weren't speaking anyway. To sort of update us on what the status, of those meetings were. And then since he knew he wasn't going to be at this meeting, he sent us a memo that kind of summarizes where that's at. And rather than try to paraphrase, I thought I'd just read it to the committee.
Please.
I hate Chris, blah, blah, I'll be on vacation, et cetera. It was agreed that the city-owned Dogtown woodlot parcels, so we're talking about those, little parallel little strips. The series of rectangular parcels north of the Babson watershed is an area that the city can move on to conduct a perimeter deed. Okay,
Wow,
so, yeah, no,
that's a big deal.
there's some big stuff here, yeah. And these are serious folks. This will require a surveyor, and that is basically the next step, contracting a surveyor. I had wished to provide an answer by now, but still need clarification on which department would be the lead on paying for this.
There's the rub.
It's always about the money.
Well, yes, but anyway, he's on it.
Yeah.
After a perimeter deed is conducted, we can record it as one parcel. The private lots in the interior may be added to this deed if owners so wish over time. Some of the owners we do not really know, but that should not prevent the city from moving forward on consolidation of the lots that we know we own. City-owned parcels are a mix of Article 97 open space parcels and unprotected parcels, so consolidating into one lot makes an open space conservation restriction much easier. This is also the low-hanging fruit concept that we sort of talked about. If you can wrap this up, which
But it's good fruit.
he's encouraging that, yeah. So the action item / next step is doing the survey. We are firmly on that path. The hard part is money. This debate. But we have 4 departments: legal, assessors, DPW, and community development, wanting for this to be done.
It's encouraging.
So I'm confident that we will find the resources to do so. Good for you, Eric. Yeah. Future next steps are that we will need to have an enforcing CR, oftentimes done with an assistance of a land trust. In the past, it was the Conservation Commission who held CRs, but they've become much more of a strict permitting body, Wetlands, Floodplains, Clear Water Act, without the staff capacity to enforce CR rules monitoring. I'm not sure about that, but we are not there yet, but that will be the next step after the survey and subsequent recording. I have no new information on the unknown parcels north of the woodlots at this time. So sounds good. And when I read this, I think, yes, and we got to stay on it, because there seems to be some serious enthusiasm for this, which I'm certainly glad to hear, and we just encourage that. And then we have to figure out the survey piece. So
Sounds like there's momentum.
it does. Yeah, it sounds like there are several important people who are for this and are seeing this as opposed to the past as, oh, yeah, good idea,
It's no longer Sisyphus pushing the rock up the mountain.
That's right.
It's Sisyphus, right, yeah.
Yeah.
So how will we, how will we go about the progress of this?
Well, I'm gonna stay on Eric,
It's an item on our.
Yeah,
It's a standing
it's
item.
yeah.
Standing item.
But I'm gonna see, and we've asked, I've certainly said, look, if it would be helpful for me to be present at any of these meetings or whatever, I'm obviously glad to do that, et cetera. And I think we can also, the other slight concern that I have, although if we can move this along, but yes, low hanging fruit, but I would hate to have people say, oh, we did that and that was great, we're done. Because we want the perimeter of the whole parcel and all of that kind of thing. But positive.
Do you think that the unknowns, once this sort of gets out there and you're almost in the red zone, we're almost in the final stages and these people are seeing it on the paper and some of those
It's
might,
moving, yes.
but some of those might say, well, wait a minute, I got one of those in the middle. Where were you all this time? Well,
Here's your tax bill for the last 150 years.
It's a good question, and maybe think people will come out of the woodwork. But what I asked Eric to put to legal was, what is sufficient due diligence by the city such that if you have no respondents or you have no data or you have, nothing, no leads at all, at what point can you, through public notice and some process,
Legal
then
public
say,
notice.
we've done
time
it,
Period.
we've done it, and,
Right.
and,
Yeah.
liability of,
Yeah.
some kind of, title conflict is very low, and so we can proceed. And I don't know if you got to ask that question, but I would like to hold on to a question like that or
Yeah.
that topic for future reference to get those unknowns out,
Yeah.
rectified and somehow. Yeah.
I mean, they have a find mass money, maybe they have a find my title or something.
Another thing that I've been looking at for some bike stuff that I would encourage you all to look into is Massachusetts websites do a really good job of pointing to grant opportunities. Something that the state does a lot of, and maybe there's an open lands page or something that helps with these sorts of processes.
Yeah, that, maybe I'm Pollyannish about that, but I'm not too worried about that one, but yes, all sorts of stuff, whatever. And in that context, the other thing here that we need to keep an eye on is that Greenbelt regards itself as engaged in this, but it's unclear to me how engaged, kind of. And they seem, I talked to my friend Jim McDougal recently, and he's been involved with them and involved with them for a long time. And his thinking is that they're still doing it at the information level, and he's helping with that, obviously, and whatever, but they're not they're hesitant to commit to involvement, but I think these, and that's obviously another source of the CR, and a good one. And so I want to make sure that I, or, Kate or somebody else besides Jim, somebody that's involved here and, be aware of that process, maybe involved in that process so that we can integrate that so that we're not doing two different things or something.
It'd be Eric, just liaisons with them, lays.
Yeah, someone,
Yeah.
someone.
I have some informal connections with Greenbelt and can just.
Well, I have longtime connections with Greenbelt as well, so there are plenty of candidates to do that, and I'm just saying that ought to happen. It ought to be, I just don't want Greenbelt to be off doing something, and all of a sudden we find out that, something.
This is a public document, and so, even if it's not time to share or give them that document, just sharing that news, maybe pricing.
I can speak to the process a little bit for notifying errors. Any like land use attorney or like tax lien attorney, like you have to publish. Research, there's like a process. There's always a risk,
Sure.
but it's not that complicated.
Okay. That's great to hear.
Just getting the process rolling is like,
Yeah.
This is really
Yeah.
encouraging. Okay.
so,
That's somebody that knows the law. Would have to help you.
yes.
For us,
Not really, just that I think the area that we're talking about, the unknowns are further. North.
Yes, yeah.
So these are not,
They're not those.
the area that we're talking about, I think are traceable.
But again, as somebody alluded to, once the word gets out that this is really happening and, doghouse, then I think those will start to come
Maybe
along
so.
or whatever.
That's fine.
anything else on Dogtown?
So the big 97 areas, are they involved in this? The areas that were already had that designation.
Oh gosh, we'd have to look at the GIS to talk.
Think so, yeah.
So- Okay. All right, great news. Thank you. Next topic, access and signage at open space properties and trailheads. Mark and Dave.
So I reached out to Councilor Worthley to get back to me, but didn't take the action to act as a sponsor. And Councilor Gilman, don't think has responded either. So that's what sort of the message was. We were sort of lacking a sponsor. So I think we need maybe this letter, maybe this semi-annual, if they catch it, or I'm kind of running out of who to ping and, but it needs a sponsor.
Yes, I was thinking of talking to Sean, but I didn't, sorry.
So,
Well, I think 3A is consuming everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And so maybe.
Maybe next week.
And, you know, and I like that idea as well, since that she was the one who kind of started it off. I think, yeah.
she's the one that informed us of the
Well,
need
yeah,
for this.
so I just think there's a lot going. Everybody's kind of busy and consumed right now, but we're just gotta keep poking that.
So perhaps in early May, yeah, you or I could reach out to Councilor Gilman
Yeah.
and try it again to see if she's interested. Okay. Anything else?
Oh, I did have a question. How does are we gonna go on to the cats thing, signage thing? Is that on?
Oh, I don't have that on the
Or
agenda, but
Well,
wasn't there,
it is.
there was a letter that you.
there was a letter thing
Yeah,
for the,
but we
yeah.
don't have to, any action.
Okay,
needed, I don't believe.
well, that made me think about, wasn't that initiative about signage?
Yeah, about from the, what's the company that's gonna do the
Yeah.
trail, something trail stewards or.
Yeah.
How,
No
but-
signage yet.
no signage yet, but how can they do that without this first one being
Mhm.
done? That's what made me think about,
They don't have to have the city law telling them that it has to be there. They're just gonna pay for some person to come and say where the signs should be.
okay, but before anything can stake in the ground or
Yeah,
whatever, I think the first initiative has to be clear, right?
Well-
Cause it doesn't have trails in it.
You want,
So,
on.
so what we, the contract is, for this Northeast Trail Systems, to just do the
Analysis.
the assessment,
Assessment,
what a needs assessment for.
that can happen without, that can just happen.
Yes, yeah. And, the second part, I take your point. Technically, Bulls Hill is not listed in the code of ordinances for now for signage. That said, there have been groups that have added signs to properties throughout the city. And with the approval of the city, Boy Scout project comes to mind. But it's,
trail shows and put kiosks here and there.
yeah,
But as Amy just reminded me, the proposal is to have this consultant tell us what blazes and trails might be. It isn't about putting a big old sign out front. So I don't know if you consider blazes signs, but they're not what I usually think of as putting a big old sign. So
places and lots of city properties.
yeah, and
Yeah.
in fact, they're not even gonna be putting blazes. They're just gonna say, oh, put one there. You know, that's what this is about.
Right.
It would later-
No, I don't, no issue with the first part of it. It's just maybe whatever, how does it play with,
I don't think we need the ordinance change to be able to do this. I
oh, the
personally-
assessment, no, that's what I'm saying, that's what we, yeah, we're all agree with that.
The ordinance change would make the city do this, but that there's nothing in the ordinance says that you can't put signs on open space, right? It just says the city doesn't have to.
No, it doesn't say you can't, it just doesn't say you can't either.
Authorized at these properties.
Yeah, it's just not, it doesn't include the word trails.
Yeah.
Right, so that.
And there are draft maps that have been done, so, for the
Yeah.
Bulls Hill,
Yeah.
so in that correspondence,
Is there anything that we need to do on that particular point regarding Pulse Hill now or?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Yeah, it's on its own now. Okay.
anything else on this topic of access and signage at open space properties and trailheads? Okay, moving on. I have only one thing to report since the last meeting. So I did this, a couple of from Bike Gloucester joined me for a survey of the bike lanes. So my last meeting with Mike Hale in March, he said, yep, we're going to refresh the lines. Would you please do a survey of them and tell me, what's needed and where? And we did that. And so, these are just little captures and the letters there indicate, correspond with the paragraphs. So I broke it up into 4 sections, but it's not just about repainting the lines. I'll give you an example. So right here, the bike lane starts right about there. Okay. And that's right where the parking starts.
Right.
And so, but the bike lane is there and there's room for it. The problem is what happens is you cross the bridge, and when people are turning left or school buses are turning left onto Centennial, other people just come right through here around them. And it's a little uncomfortable. It's a lot uncomfortable to be on a bike there and then have people kind of nudging that way. And you don't always look. I think bike lane, extending the bike lane 200 feet from where it starts now back to the cut bridge or back to where the road starts, including the intersection with Centennial, would just raise awareness. So I included a few little tidbits like that in hopes that they get some attention. And in some of these places, I'm just saying that, it looks good or the paint looks bad. In F, for example, there is a sign that says, so this is going on Western Avenue. There is no bike lane, but it says on the right lane for right turns only. And I want them to say, except for bicyclists. Cyclists can stay in that right lane. Most of the traffic flow is in the left. We get in the right, it's safer, So tried to highlight that. Right here, the bike lane disappears. I'd love to see a sign that says cyclists may use full lane. There is a sign right over here, for the other direction. Yeah. Right here, where you go down to Angle Street, there's probably a property line that I don't know about, but I think you could restart the bike lane here rather than down by St. Peter's Square. I won't go through all this stuff with you.
It was well done. I read it. I was trying to visualize each one as I was reading it. Yeah, they were
I
good.
forgot that I'd sent this along to you, so I won't go into this anymore. But well, I will. This is the one.
You worked hard on it. You can show it.
This one I'm always nervous. So I'm coming here, I go by Speedway. Right now, the lines are all obscured or degraded. And the blue is what you have to do now. You're in the bike lane, and then there's a little arrow that says if you're going on, Rogers, you go this way, and if you're going on Main, you go this way. And you go this way because it's this left-hand lane that continues straight onto Main Street, but then the bike lane continues on the right side of Main Street. So you end up crossing obliquely. You cross Main Street obliquely here, and then again obliquely there. And I really would love to know the rationale.
I feel like they changed the actual traffic pattern of this little intersection. I mean, maybe like a decade ago, but anyone who's driven in Gloucester for more than a decade just can't grasp it yet. No, I'm serious. It's like it's like muscle memory. Like you always just stayed and you didn't move to turn.
Right. And so this, I'd prefer to see what's in the red. Okay, so I won't.
That's wild.
I haven't heard back. I did hear that, so I took the liberty of sending this to the chief of staff. And of course, she's going on to Danvers, Joe Cahill. And I said, please introduce this topic and myself to your successor. And I heard that through Eric that she received this message and was pleased with the document and was doing just that. So I'm happy that that will hopeful that will start to take place. That's all I have. Any questions? Outstanding. Emerging issues or anything we?
Oh, I got one question
Yes,
on
sir.
the bike thing.
Yeah.
What would be sort of the next initiative or just like, you always got things in the works with bike loss,
Well,
right?
this is,
What's kind of,
this will
what do you
kind
see
of
as
grow
next?
into emerging issues. I think the comprehensive plan is an emerging issue because it's coming into its final phases. Did any of you listen into the planning board meeting on
No.
the other day? The consultant says it's almost final. And so in June, they're gonna really start the rollout for the final thing and say, dear city, here are your top recommendations. A curious thing has happened. They're putting pretty significant weight in two areas. There were a lot of public processes. There were about 3,000 incidents of input. So it's not individual citizens, but somebody may have commented 3 times, but it's still a pretty good participation for this sort of thing, according to the consultant. So you've got a lot of public input, and they also interviewed the staff, the people who've been working at this stuff for a long time and kind of know what works and what doesn't work, rather than the lay people who were in the public. And of the top 4 or 5 topics that the public picked, and I don't remember what they were, none of those came to the top of the list of what the city staff members suggested.
Right.
And the reverse is true. The top 5 or 4 picks of the city staff aren't on the public's top of the list. But when you look at things that are like highest on both lists, cycling and pedestrian trails is like number 2, of the ones that are on both lists. And so it's kind of a weird way to get to the top, but it's a nice thing. And so I'm hopeful, so the city is probably going to form some sort of implementation plan working group. Now, whether it's a standing committee that, goes on for years, or it's presented as an ad hoc committee just for this specific purpose, we don't know. But their job will be to find ways of getting it implemented and nudging the city to stay on it. You invested a lot of money and a lot of time, and the city's brain power and brain trust in getting these ideas together. Now do them, or wherever practicable first, but then let's start reaching for the things that are less practical. And so that's coming along, and that should probably be initiated this summer. And I find that pretty exciting. And I think there are some other open space related issues up there, but I was really focused on that one item on the planning board. So I didn't really dig. And it was a very brief.
So you said open space issues sprinkled in there. Wouldn't the whole open space plan be in there? Or
No.
Shouldn't that overlap a little more than just a few pieces from the?
I
Why
see.
wasn't there an implementation committee on the open space plan when it came
I
out?
see what you're saying.
Right, yeah.
And I have tried in some of my correspondence with the mayor and some other people to point out that, for example, bike lanes have been in city documents since 2002 at least. And I list them. And so, and they're in the response and recovery plan, the sustainability plan, the open space plan, the harbor plan. All of these things touch on it. And so, why haven't those taken root? And that's why I think of us as the closest thing to an open space plan implementation team.
Right.
And that's why I'm really enjoying the advocacy that we've all kind of.
So it's
taken on.
right. It's us to pick from that
Yeah.
plan and
Yep,
push.
and to kind of be the
Right.
gadflies that keep these issues
Right.
active, so they don't just drift and collect dust.
Can you give a couple of examples of ones that were high on the city list, but not on the folks list and vice versa?
I did not scribble notes.
Okay,
To be
I'm
honest,
just curious.
I'm sorry, I
No.
can't, because
I get it.
I went from that meeting to another meeting of the North Shore Bicycle Coalition, at which I talked to some DOT official about the intersection of 127 and 133, 2 state highways that meet obliquely, and there's a crosswalk that's 212 feet long, and we have to do something about it. And I was heard, so that's all I can say. It's not happening, but I was heard.
So when might there be a time to add a bike trail from Magnolia to
Okay.
Gloucester to the list?
Great idea. And so I really need to see how this comes out of the comprehensive plan. I think it's going to come out as we need a bike and pedestrian plan for the city.
Okay.
And so that would be the time where we have meetings, public meetings and public input process, and have people say, I want to get from Magnolia to downtown. I want to get from Lanesville to downtown, or, you know,
The
How-
train station to
yeah.
downtown in West
Yeah.
Gloucester, I
Yeah.
mean, that's the one that gets me.
how do we connect the neighborhoods with the, transportation hubs? But to get use downtown as the ultimate destination, because we've got everything within a 1 mile radius of City Hall, just about. And so if you can get down there, that's a walkable, rideable radius for everybody. So how do we get you from the neighborhoods in? And I think a plan should address that. And I think we're hopeful we'll get some support from the Metropolitan Area Planning Commission for that. Alex Koppelman, who's now the community development director, used to work for MAPC, and I think he knows the track. Get some support from them.
Interesting what you're saying about the crossover and concerns too, because like that area of Roger Street you were talking about, I've never thought about bikes, but I've thought that that's a pedestrian nightmare for a long time. You know, you've got these crosswalks by like Cruzport, and people are allowed to park right up against them. So people are trying to cross and they're like
Yes.
Yeah, you
Well, the
looking
one on the
out, and as a
boulevard.
driver, you can't see them until they're in the crosswalk, in the road.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that could be done.
And that's another thing that we can do is, as you know, if we come up with a bike ped plan, it can say we need to do walk audits. And a walk audit is where you go, you do say a mile, and you go to all the crosswalks and say, well, this is scary, or this is great. And some places will do little bump outs so that you've got a place on sidewalk to stand.
Yeah.
So, you're
Yeah.
not nudging out to the road, pushing your stroller
that's
out into traffic.
The one across from the World War II Memorial on the boulevard,
Yes.
and because there's so much traffic and if you have a baby carriage in front of you, it's like you kind of have to
Yeah.
put it first.
Yeah.
Or a wheelchair even.
Yes,
It's absolutely
yes.
horrifying. People get on it, you
And if
know?
you take away parking spots, then businesses are affected
Right.
and there's all that. So.
But businesses are affected if people get killed.
Right.
That's.
Or if people
I
don't
mean,
come to the
to be-
city,
to be
right.
blunt,
If they don't feel
to be
safe.
blunt, but getting rid of the parking places it's called daylighting of a crosswalk. You
Yeah.
get rid of the nearest 15 feet, I think.
Yeah.
And it's probably not appropriate or necessary everywhere, but there probably are places where it would be a real safety.
And if there's a
matter of
crosswalk
safety.
there, you can't park there anyway.
Yes, but.
But you can park right up against.
Right
it.
up
Right now,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
nose right up to it.
Yeah.
But if the island thing was only, 20 feet wide that stuck out for people to, it would be just roughly the width of the crosswalk. You wouldn't lose them in parking
Right.
places.
Yes, good point.
Mhm.
Yeah, good point.
Imagine the local convention of letting people out shopping. Cars
Oh,
come
yeah.
out and they don't see the bike.
Getting
Yeah, it took me a
indoors.
long time to get used to that.
If the
Why
cars are
are you
being,
stopping?
right, if the cars are being courteous to one another, you don't
Yeah.
always know what's
They
going
don't
on.
label
As another motorist or as a cyclist.
Yeah, they don't know that the bike is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Been trying to get the
So-
crosswalk at Denison and Washington changed forever,
Oh, yeah.
because you have to go into the roadway away from Denison Street in order to be on the crosswalk.
Mhm.
Terrifying.
It is.
Cars come flying.
Mhm.
So
both directions.
having an inventory of those embedded in a bike ped plan gives us a work list. And doing these walk audits, Walk Massachusetts is an organization that promotes this kind of. They'll come to your city and help you, and they'll train people, locals, anybody, to do walk audits.
This
And
used to be Walk Boston.
maybe.
Same organization.
What about pedestrian lights? Because then it wouldn't get into the parking spots. I mean, if you were right up against a crosswalk, but there was a pedestrian light
Yeah,
there, I
yeah.
know that's probably more money that I don't know what's,
A good point.
There's
Sure.
one, right?
but
There's one of those on Roger Street.
there's one by Gordon.
Gordon,
They
yeah.
have one.
Yes.
Grand Circle.
Yeah.
And there's the one at Grand Circle,
Which
yeah.
is terrifying. Everyone.
Yes. So I think we have some small progress in this area, and it's another topic in which we're getting some attention. And so I'm pleased. Thank you. So anyway, I kind of got into emerging issues by talking about the comp plan. I think that may present us with some more advocacy leverage in a couple of select points. I don't have a copy of the plan yet. Only the planning board members do. Maybe city councilman. Okay, any other business or topics we need to discuss? Okay. Review of the action items coming from this meeting.
You have some edits to
Yes,
correct.
yes, and let me, it's the date of the East Gloucester Open Space, adding that, and the semi-annual report and the word encroachment for overstep and kind of the refinements that have to go along with wordsmithing there. And I understand the committee to be entrusting me to have a transmittal memo and work it through with Eric next week.
And I will send out the pickleball attributes list to the team and book our smaller meeting with Eric and Larry.
Excellent. Anything else?
Maybe.
Oh, yes.
May meeting.
A May meeting. Thing. The fourth Tuesday is the day after Memorial Day.
Oh, yes, that's true.
I'm out of town.
Okay, that's, I wonder. If we,
27.
Tuesdays, right?
The fourth Tuesday, as we do?
that's what we do.
Okay with that.
6. So Kate will not be available on 27th.
No, I don't believe I am.
Okay.
No, I will not be available the 27th.
But the 20th was ahead of week. But then there's the question of getting this room and stuff, right? Without
Yeah.
Eric, we can't really
Yeah.
change it.
We could pencil something in and confer with them on Monday.
I'm not looking like I'm gonna make the May meeting, so
Okay.
don't go by where I'm gonna be.
Okay.
I'm letting
Does
you
it make
know.
sense? I mean,
Lots going on.
better to drop off a week or add a week or any preference
Move
there?
it to the next day, the 28th.
Well, so let's look ahead at next, so then there's the end of June, like just kind of factor in the, end of June and fiestas and all our, that and just trying to,
In what way? we should
maybe if we,
affect it.
like,
So what are you getting at, Mark, that if the third Thursday, I think you
I can't do Thursdays or Wednesdays,
or third Tuesday rather.
right, Tuesdays.
If the third Tuesday would work,
That works.
it gets us out of things like Christmas and Thanksgiving and Memorial Day and the other move earlier. in
well, I
the
was just
month
kind of thinking through
holidays.
July.
And
I was just
then
thinking a little bit, I wasn't
Fiesta.
thinking Christmas.
Well, and
I would-
Fiesta and the.
Would it?
Well,
Well, that's what I'm
Fiesta's
just,
I
not
think
a
so. Fiesta's,
Tuesday.
but Fiesta's the last week of June, right?
right, so that would be well, it's a Tuesday of Fiesta is really not
No, no,
Fiesta.
Mm-mm.
If it starts
Okay.
Wednesday, right?
I don't want to. Set the. What's the pleasure of the committee? Do we want to pick another day for May 1st?
Yeah.
That seems the easiest.
Is the 20th
Yeah.
okay with,
Yeah.
Kate, with the 20th work for you? But maybe not for
I won't be
Adrian's.
here the 20th.
Okay.
I don't have a Tuesday, unfortunately. My daughter's team plays.
Can you
at
send
6 on
someone to
Tuesdays.
take the minutes?
You guys will be fine.
We'll be fine.
Someone will
I'll-
manage.
So let's pencil in the 20th for May, if that works for everyone. And we'll confirm that with Eric.
So along
I'll
those
be here if it
lines,
rains.
yeah.
Okay.
This 5 o'clock is starting to seem like the middle of the afternoon,
That's right.
True.
And more and more so.
and more so.
Yeah.
Where did that time come from, and does it have to be that?
I think it has a little bit to do with staff availability.
Right.
In that it's an extension of Eric's workday. They work half days on Fridays to accommodate night work.
Okay.
I think that's
All right.
the
all right.
arrangement.
I'm just asking.
But it's a good question. I'm just trying to, where I think it comes
Yes,
from.
I had to come down from the ladder and take a shower.
Yeah.
Isn't the city council, when is it, they're Tuesdays, right? At 7?
Yes, yeah.
So people that,
And if Eric has to go there.
Mhm.
people want to go there, I think there's that too.
For the 20th at 5, so we have. right now.
Yes, the 20th at 5. Okay, and I'll bring that up with Eric to see if it's a good idea.
The room is available. Well, you could still do remote Yes or no?
We could do.
If the room's not available, we could do remote.
Everybody just call in.
Yeah, but maybe there's another room also.
Yes.
Okay. With all that said, I would welcome motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
Dave and Mark, thank you very much. All in favor of adjourning, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Thank you. Good meeting and wonderful week.
You have to, it's a button.
I do.
It's a recording so we can say things off the record.
He hasn't hit the leave button yet.
Okay.
But the scandalous stuff on it.
Could you do me a favor? Just, you're gonna be in Dean Street a lot, or
Yeah.
just, you just get a vibe of